Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live, Season 3, Episode 8. And, of course, there was tons to talk about this week, but I didn't want to sit down and list everything because the show title would have been too long. So instead, I put this week's special episode of Goo, which I think is a good summary of this week.
No, you're always gooey.
Always gooey, yeah, which is a great thing. But Ren, I'm joined by the wonderful Ren.
Hello.
Our only person on camera tonight. Apologies, I'm not on camera, but I do have to sort of host and do slides, so no camera for me tonight. And plus, I've run out of goo. So.
The best team in the NBA right now.
What is NBA? I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Something good in the '80s, but not now.
Go kiss the queen, Liam.
We play rugby here. It's a man's sport, you know. Anyway, George, the wonderful George, say hello.
Evening, everybody. How y'all doing? I would be on camera, but I'm still waiting for my, webcam to come from across the pond. Liam promised me one.
It's in the Christmas package.
Yeah.
And of course, the wonderful Derpy the cow. It's good to see you, Derpy. How are you tonight?
Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is for you.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us tonight as well. Appreciate that. Mark is, of course, away. Rue is on business. Brian works. So we are missing a few faces tonight, but I think we should be okay to fill the hour. I am going to screen share, and your screen's going to go a little bit nuts for a second while I quickly do this because I'm not quite as smooth as the transition is, Mark. But give me a second. Get there. And look, there you go. That is just the most professional. Clicking. There we go. Does that look all right to you guys? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, TFC Season 3, Episode 8. And I will apologise for the typo. There should, of course, be an R after B in February. But it was a slight oversight. And for some reason, I couldn't edit it.
I thought that's how you guys say it in Scotland, February.
No, we say February.
Okay.
No, we say the same way everyone else says. Yeah, so the special episode of Goo. I'm not gonna sit and read slide for slide, but there's a slight list of what we're gonna cover tonight. There is actually quite a lot that come out today, so hopefully we'll get through. But before we go into some of the new stuff, I thought we'd take a minute to ask you guys, how did you find the raid? I don't know, should we start with you, Ren? What's your opinions on the raid? Did you enjoy it?
Personally, it was a very easy raid. The Buccaneers that now I had completed with the flagship were doing very well on their elite target. The main problem, and personally I only experienced that on Sunday once, but I know people who had it multiple times, is the Buccaneers were randomly being destroyed in the targets. Like they do well, they can do targets for reasonable damage, but every now and then they just get destroyed. And nobody could actually figure out the cause. I call the Kraken effect. It's just a random Kraken in the target. And I think they need to improve our ability to do targets on auto, because the Buccaneers, they do crazy stuff sometimes. And George, I know you have a lot to say about that, so I'm going to keep it short. But other than the random stuff with the Buckies, it was good. It was doable. I prepped for some people. I was even able to complete the Hydra elite target without the flagship and without having completed chips. Just 4 or 5 pinches per target and careful driving, and I completed the Hydra target with 4 half-ass chips. So it was good.
Good. Okay, then before George, if George has got Derpy?
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of time this.
Sorry, I forgot.
I didn't have a lot of time this raid, so I was just using still my 5 Ironclad fleets. My Buccaneers haven't been started, and my Hydras aren't done. I only got 10 million points. I was limited on time and limited on what chips I could use, so I didn't do very well.
Okay, no worries. Okay, George, hit us. Hit us with your
I actually don't have that much. I wanted to comment on the Kraken effect because that's actually what I started calling it too after Ren put it up. I caught it on tape. What was happening was, at least in the S target, because that's the one I tested extensively in, when you came up around in that last turn, the last group of turrets, the Buccaneer fleet would stop just shy of the turret, and it seemed to center around whether or not that last building on that little line to the left of the platform was destroyed by a super blue shot. So I think that might have been part of it. I didn't have a chance. Like, I was trying to force it when I was doing further testing, and I couldn't replicate it on purpose when I was in the target. And it seemed that every time that I caught it, it was when I started it on auto on the map and didn't go in until it was close to done. So I don't know if it has something to do with the AI when you don't get the battle map loaded early. I'm not sure what it was. Otherwise, I liked my Buckies. I mean, they did a great job autoing. I did something like 105 of the things. They performed really well. They did have to have a different build than the A set. So if you were doing one or the other, you kind of wanted to switch the LA3 for Ren. What were you using? Was the the combination one?
ST. Is it ST?
No, it was
one's rad and ballistic, is it?
Yeah, the combination one, I think, because I think Ren was doing it in the A sets, and he was doing really, really well in the A sets. And if I brought mine in the A sets, I wasn't doing nearly as well. And I think it flip-flopped when he went into the S, and I went into the S, it flip-flopped. So, you know, the two different builds kind of worry me going forward for the TLCs. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. But other than that, I mean, the first day, and the weirdest thing is the first day I didn't have any problems up until dinner time. And then it started, some wonky stuff started. And then by Saturday, it was full bore. Everybody was having problems. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll
just to add to that, George, the one time my Buckies got sublimated was in an 83 when they approached the turret cluster right at the top of the 83 target. They were doing well, and then they went towards those turrets, and poof.
Was that near the end of the target?
Near the end, up top, yeah.
Okay. See, that's weird. That's the same place. So near the end of the S target was the same place that it was having issues.
Yeah, and you're right. I think my Buckies were doing better in the A stats than yours, but not by much, I think. And vice versa. I was taking maybe twice as much damage as you were. But that's only the first S target. After that, it was like, I think I was taking an hour and 20 after doing one S target from full health. Mm-hmm. And then every new S target, I would take 10 to 20 minutes extra damage. And I could do like 4.
So you were doing that thing, the little trick of just autoing off of the map, right?
Yeah, autoing without loading the target.
That's what yeah.
And then after 4, I would dock, and I could repair the flagship for like sometimes a coin, sometimes 2.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that so everyone understands, or do we want to say that for later?
I don't
or
explain it.
Don't worry about it. Okay, we don't worry about it. We'll find it on the page later on then. Okay, go ahead, Liam. It's all you.
See, my raid. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was quite stress free. I mean, I really enjoyed the first cycle and the first raid in the cycle. And for me, my Buckies are just about built now. So I already had some FM tokens saved up. I went in with the Hydras and did like 10 of the campaigns, then used all the points to buy 5 charged C and 5 charged R, used my tokens to then refit them onto my Buckies because they had no armor. And then I just flew into it. I did 27 on autopilot with the Buckies, and then I did 27 controlling with the Hydras. And in fact, I had the Buckies going in an autopilot in one while I was going in with the Hydras and controlling the other. So I was racking up 11 mil every sort of 5-10 minutes. It was just very, very painless. And I finished it about 300 mil, and there was nothing left to collect. So it was a nice raid. It's not. Yeah.
Did you have your Buccaneers built at all?
Well, they were fully built and fully ranked, with the exception of no armor. And then in the raid, and I didn't use any coin before everyone calls me a filthy coiner. I put a D2R, a D2C, and then a charged R and a charged C on each ship, with tokens from Raid and that I'd saved up from FM. And yeah, I mean, so they weren't like fully armored, and I probably was taking more damage than I would if they had all charged armors on. But it was cheaper and faster for me to do it, just to let the Bucky's auto and take a couple of coin damage per hit than just spend hours and hours doing A sets and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was worth it for a couple of coins for 11 mil every 5 minutes. I was very, very happy with that. I spent about 78 coins or something like that. So that's a cheap rate for me. I'm happy with that.
I really want to do my hydras. I just don't know when I'm going to be able to do them now.
Well, see, I did hydras first. See, so so I was, this is probably the most, like, the first time I've actually been up to date and ready in about a year. Like, I've never been this well ahead in a raid cycle. So, yeah. But yeah, no, it was good. So guys, in terms of the prizes, I mean, I haven't really had a chance to. I've almost got 4 of the new FM hull dry hold and ready to rank in VXP weekend. But in terms of some of the other prizes, any of you guys tried anything out yet? Or
that turret's great. The new turret, the Executioner 2, amazing turret. People can have 2 in base, and we're going to talk about that later, but I know Kixeye fixed the problem with the SSKP special. So now it can be used with the new thermobaric casing 4 that is here in the picture. That turret's great on defense. I mean, I hope a lot of people were able to get it. Unfortunately, I don't think they were, because that was in the locked store, and just to get there to the locked store, I think you needed to score like 40 million points just to unlock it, and then 15 million per turret. So, not many people with over 55 million points who could have redeemed at least one of those. But it's very good.
Have you built one?
Yep, I have one done. The other one doing.
Okay, and is it killing stuff that's coming into your base quite well?
It did. I was attacked once, and it does pack a massive punch. It's just about how people put it in a base and the faction you choose and the specials and everything. But well built, it's great.
Okay, brilliant.
But it's not an auto win. I mean, I know some bases have been attacked and broken even with the new turret, just because they were probably poorly positioned and poorly built, because the range is not huge. I think you get about 7-8 tiles range with that turret, even with the right specials. So you got to be really smart about where you put it.
Okay. And does anyone else have any sort of opinions on the prizes? Or
I actually like to have both of mine in. I like them. I was hoping to see more, especially with the new FM coming out. I was hoping to see more Gales in there. Gale 1, 2, and 3. We haven't seen 2 and 1 in forever. And then some. I mean, the agility system has been asked for a lot, because between base defense and then some of your baser fleets, and the older hulls, like I think, what is it, the Skyfires we used them on. I mean, I just want to see a little bit more added in. But for the most part, I mean, I saw what was the one that they put in that everyone's been clamoring for, the lockdown rockets. That was in at a great price. I mean, they had a bunch of stuff at some good prices. Some stuff not so much, but I think we covered that last week right before the raid. So
yeah, well, the hope for 2 million points was a steal. I mean, everybody able, I think, to get 2 million points should have a hope in their base guard. It's a really good fleet, cheap.
It was the same. The hope was 2 million last raid too.
Yeah, it's really really cheap. And I think the flare rockets were still expensive, like 4 or 5 million points. So to get the whole combo, you needed 7 million points. But the ship itself was cheap.
Well, see, I was quite glad to see the boulder. Was it the boulder fist as well?
Yeah.
Because I only had one of them, which I took in last bounty, and I took the gun as well, so I was kind of kicking myself for that. But it was great for me because I took another 4, and also the Omni Behemoth. I mean, I missed that hole, and to see that for 3 million, that was a great catch for me as well. Really helped me get caught up with that. So
yeah, and the lockdown. I mean, so many people were begging for the lockdown because it hasn't been offered in forever, and it's key now to slow down attackers in bases. And you know, being there for 1 million points was a very good opportunity, and another one of those where like was pretty much a must-have if you care about your base defense.
My only gripe was the exact same as last month. My only gripe last month was, Kixo, please put some CT and CO charged in there. That's my only gripe. If there's
well, we have a TLC this week with them, right?
Yeah, but what is it, 2, 3? I mean,
we don't know how hot it is this time coming around either. So
I need like 5 of each. I need 10 of each, in fact. I mean, obviously I've got the hunters.
You're gonna be mad if I say I have like 7 or 10 C1.
I'm finally in a position where I have enough X and M, and I'll probably have enough C and R after this week as well. So it's just the CT and the CO. That was raids I wasn't able to be online as much. You know, so that's the ones I'm behind on.
Yeah. Has anyone tried that new TLC?
No, I tried it once.
No, not yet.
All right, because I know last time it came out, everyone was saying it was really hard. So.
Well, Derpy, what was it like? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I took in my full Fangtooth fleet. My friend took it in his full buck fleet, and we couldn't make it through that first target. Probably just because of driving, don't know how to do it yet. But it was tough. You probably need 2 people, and it's not something you can take in Cannoneers or something like that. You need to have the full fleet, fully ranked, drive really well.
Right. Sounds right up my street for my expert driving skills, as many of you know. Right.
We all aspire to drive like you, Liam.
I'm going to take it to the bank, just solo it, you know. Okay, February FM. Can everyone see the February FM slide? Yep.
Oh yeah.
So obviously the brand new target is the 117. I have actually not had a chance to try this out yet, so this was the first time I've seen it. Was on this slide. There were 500,000 points. I do believe Kixeye posted that currently they've done them down, and they will be getting harder as we get our dragons built. Correct?
Yes, they have the damages tuned down, and as they expect us to have it, the fleets being built, the I don't know if it's going to be a progressive thing or if it's an on-off switch where the damage just gets turned back on. I'm not sure. I just hope that the points go up with the damage going up.
Just a quick one as well. Sorry, thanks to Bruce Bain as well for posting this on the TFC page. That's where you took the picture from. So I appreciate that, bud. You got there first before we had to. So yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. Does look interesting. I can see what is that little ships or drones?
Yeah,
or what is it?
Those are little destroyers. They're for the
Mastodon's
remote target.
Right. Yeah, it looks like a whole world of pain in there.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if this is going to stay the same, but when I tried, so I have one dragon built, and when I brought in the icebreakers, you have to kind of charge in and hit everything. When I had the dragon in there, and it wasn't ranked, I mean, it died, but it seemed like I think I caught one of the ECMs on the edge, so I could kite it, and it didn't trigger the Mastodons. So that might be part of the difficulty going up.
I was just going to say, is that Mastodons? I haven't seen them in so long.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's an interesting target. I mean, so far, a lot of people have been having success with icebreakers. I tried mine real quick, and mine's a test. It's a test bed build, so it doesn't do well in anything. But it actually pulled, I think, 4 hours of damage. Derpy got less than that. My monolith fleet, while everything survived except for one zealous that wasn't armored, it took a lot more damage. So I'm not sure if people want to bring in their...
Yeah, I think definitely it's a target tuned for rocket ships and not mortar ships.
Yeah.
So icebreakers, the best I've seen for icebreakers is someone who did it with 2 hours, 20 minutes damage. That's the best I've seen. I haven't tried the target myself, but it's what I've been reading on pages and chats and whatnot.
I wonder if, I mean, we obviously know that there is, you know, Kicks have been very vocal about that the FM changes come in the fourth month of the year. So with the change, I mean, is this just going to be a new target and we're still going to have the old targets, or are they going to slowly migrate and change every target?
You know, I asked that specific question because the way that it was worded in the forums was that we were going to lose the 115, and that every time that a new high-end target came out, we would lose the old high-end target. I don't know if that's a great idea. I'm still waiting to find out, you know, an official
What I've heard
word.
is that you were just going to keep adding targets on top every few months and pushing things down, like in terms of either payout or bringing up the prices. That's what I don't know.
Like you mean like making this, like, for example, this becomes the 115 and the 115 becomes the 111, you know, like pushing them down the line kind of thing. Is that what you're saying? Or is that, am I talking complete nonsense?
I'm actually trying to find the post again to find out where I pulled that from. I think it was the one that Rampage had put up.
Can you guys, sorry, can you hear me okay? The microphone.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be also nice to get a more detailed plan out there from on the forums in the next couple of weeks of what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think they need to. I mean, obviously, a transition's coming, and we, you know, to avoid frustrations and salt, you know, we need to. They need to be very vocal about it and actually let us know exactly what's going on. Because, to be honest, like TSM said this, you know, in a chat last week. You know, he's told everyone in his alliance to stop building, whether they're building Buckies or Hydras or whichever, to stop building that, you know, that particular fleet and work on these, because FM is far more important. You know, it's the backbone of the game, and I do agree with that. You know, if FM is extremely important, you need to be able to do it, you know, fast, easy, cheap. So, you know, any kind of change to that is more important than probably raids, to be honest. So I do hope that they don't just suddenly drop, you know, the F-bomb on us and actually vocalize the changes really.
Well, Raken said he was going to be really careful about changing FM, right? Like, based on how poorly executed the FM changes were last October, November, he said he was going to be very careful and gradual in changing the FM. So I hope he has the autonomy to run this the way he says he will.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
Okay,
yeah,
guys.
I found the post in the forums, and the line that I think I took it from, and I might be extrapolating, but it said that looking forward towards the garrison targets themselves, old targets are not going to disappear immediately. And because of that last word, my presumption was that they will eventually, just not right away. There'll be a transition period. And not, like I said, I don't know if that's a great idea. I would like to see the 115 stay, so that way people can still progress up the chain. We'll see.
Yeah, there's obviously I'm sure that there's a percentage of players that can't do 115s. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I guess they
Well,
kind
I mean,
sorry.
Yeah, I think the thing is that I think they assume that as we transition into the 117s, the players behind or on the lower echelons will transition into the 115s still. That's what I would hope, because going from, you know, 80s whatever to 117s, because they took out the 115 and the 111 or whatever it is, I'm not sure that that's I don't know. I have concerns.
Yeah. Well, I guess, you know, as always, it's always about how it's delivered. Let's jump across to the next slide. So we're going to look at some of the additions to the FMs, and this is an addition to Prize Pool 4. It's a UAV frames. What do you guys feel about this?
And that's for generalist only.
Is it generalist?
Yeah.
Right, so you don't.
Yep. All the UAV stuff is generalist only.
You don't feel a lot about it then, because okay.
Yeah, they just released the escalation weapons, right? So that's part of it. So the Chameleon, when it came out with a chain gun, the Eon chain gun, which honestly is much weaker than the Quake cannon from last year. So I was still advising people to build their chameleons if they were going down that path. Very few people are, apparently. Most people are doing Buccaneers or Hydras. But I told people, don't use the Eon chain gun, use the Quake cannon from last year. But now they're releasing this escalation combo for the chameleon, which is this UAV special and I think a weapon too, right?
Well,
yeah, that's the Hawker UAV, exactly.
I've jumped ahead, and we'll scroll back to the other two. So the Hawkeye UAV Chameleon weapon upgrade. I mean, the Chameleon is a ballistic buffing hull, so I guess, it makes sense that this is a ballistic UAV. But I wonder if we're going to see a module, a CIC that will buff.
Yeah, this UAV is kind of funny because it's ballistic, the damage, but it actually adds defense for everything, which is odd because it should be focused on radioactive and ballistic, so it's kind of weird.
Well, we had that launcher that did something that did this actually the same thing, covered everything. The only catch that I worry about with the UAV is the last time we had a UAV that gave us defenses, it never showed up on the hull.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, and I think if you're stacking it, say you've got sort of 6 of these on, that percentage is going to make a difference, isn't it? And you, as we know, at the top end, when you're at the sort of 90% sort of area, those little percentages do make a dramatic difference. So, and when
it all adds up, right? The CIC for the chameleon, the weapon, the specials, it all adds up in the end. And
yeah, I mean, the UAV damage plus 100% on top of, the built-in damage. Then I guess if it's ballistic, can you buff it with ballistic damage enhancements?
No.
No, UAVs are tricky. You don't do that.
UAV, yeah.
Yep.
Well, 100% takes that up to, 8,500? So, I don't know. Is that going to be doing enough damage? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess it would melt the turrets in the buildings quite quickly, especially with a swarm. Okay, that could be interesting. That could make chameleons, I think, that could make them possibly a pretty good fleet. And this one, guys, this is a special a weapon that, like, when I seen it, I haven't looked at the stats, so I'm hoping you guys are going to give me a this. When I looked at it, I thought, really? I'm fucking refitting Buckies again? Excuse my French, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. But is it the same old? Now I've got to refit my Buckies.
I mean, but yeah, that I'm not happy with escalation stuff coming out, particularly while we have the dragons coming out and people are still building their hydras. I mean, I am not amused in any way, shape, form at all with this.
Yeah. No. So is it higher damage than the existing one?
Yes.
Is it worth it?
I'm not sure. It depends, I think, on what it actually does, like what they do to the targets. Because it does bump up the damage. It does bump up the super shot and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna buff the targets a little bit, so it'll help you complete it quicker, but you could still use the old one. Like I have no idea.
And that's an additional weight, George, isn't it? That's heavier.
I don't know if it was actually more heavy.
Yeah, it's heavier.
Is it heavier? Okay.
Because I'm wondering.
I don't think I had.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think I had a weight problem on the Buckies though. Did you?
No, that's what I mean. I mean, I was just going to say, I know I've got some weight to spare, so I'm wondering if I can actually fit a full loadout, or whether I would combine, whether I'd have to maybe combine 4 and 4 or something, or whatever. I'm just wondering how big of a jump it is, and then, obviously you've got the specials that increase weight percentage.
Yeah, the old weight was 950, so it's an increase in weight. The old damage was 1600. This one is 1800, so it's bumped up by 200 per. And then what do we have? The super shot.
What about the building damage on the old one?
Well, that's a function of the actual the calculation's the same. So the old one was like 507 or 507.5. I don't know if it's because I have something retrofitted or not, but Let me see. The old one was 10,800 per.
Right.
And then the super shot at the bottom, the old damage was 10,700, and this one's like is it 12 something? Yeah, 12,936. So I mean, yeah, it bumps it up. I mean, I think it's going to depend heavily on the target, and hopefully, I mean, because in the past you've been able to still do it with the older stuff, but again, I think the timing is just horrendous because I have hydras I still want to build. I'm trying to build for the FM now, and you know, I only have one shipyard for this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I my buckies will need 2 more charge armors, and if I've got to add some cannons as well, I won't bother until I've finished a new FM fleet, to be honest. Unless it's like immensely different. But then that would suggest to me that there's going to be a lot of escalation in the bucky target, or maybe the kicks I felt the buckies were underperforming.
Nah, they were not underperforming. They were doing just fine. I think my expectation based on past raids, you know, like I remember my Phoenixes, I never refitted my Phoenixes to the escalation missile there, the Manus. They're still running all Talons, and they work. I could still do the elite targets. I could still do all the kind of stuff with the Phoenixes. I'm hoping it's one of those where, yeah, maybe if I refit, I'm going to save some 10, 20, 15% on repair time. And if I don't, I can still get things done because, like George said, it's only one shipyard for those ships. And I'm going to finish my Hydra fleet, and I'm going to build the Inferno Dragon. So I'm not touching refits on the Bucky unless between now and the next raid, Kixeye releases a TLC again that gives like 10, 15, 20 days of Bucky fleets. Then I'll do it, right?
Yeah.
You know, and now that we're talking about like a bunch of the fleets that we got to build, what I'd really like to see is the salvages on the map do a little bit better than 10, because when you're trying to bring in something like these new hulls with uber amounts of armor, you're not going to be able to rank on salvages. I mean, they've negated even the use of them. So either take them off the map or up the VXP guys, something.
Okay, and then the next slide is, I'm a bit perplexed by this one. I mean, I don't know. Lowered cannon mount. It's a Buccaneer special upgrade, or at least that's what's listed as. Now, it does offer some fantastic benefits, but very specifically, it reduces range by 20%. And I just don't see how that's ever going to be viable.
Well, the catch is that structure deflection too. I think that's going to tie in somewhere. I'm not sure where. I mean, the thing is I have a little bit of a deficit for the trust for the specials because I'm not completely sold still on the man special, even though I have it on my bucks. I'm not 100% sure on it still. So
also, why wall damage? Because we don't see any. Do we even see any walls in their targets?
No, it's just a function of the way that they do the building damage and stuff.
I mean, the bonus combat speed, you know, and all those ballistic buffs. I mean, if they made a huge difference to the Buckies, then they could potentially be killing very quick, and the range may not be huge.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that kind of worries me is that, you know, bonus combat speed I could see on the Hydra. That's the skill hull. You want to, you know, kite stuff, this and that. The Buck is supposed to be the auto hull. I mean, you're supposed to just go in and let it go. What the hell do you need the combat speed for? So now I'm kind of worried. I'm looking at this and I'm kind of worried, is the next S target going to require us to kite with the Buccaneers too? And in which case I'm like, okay, that's...
I didn't think that far, George. I just thought probably that would just be so you can outrun the fire pools from the rocket turrets.
Or we do that now.
I know. So again, I mean, like Liam said, that special puzzles me because I see no reason to give up on ballistic range at all. No matter what other benefits you offer, why would I give up on range?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on auto, you know those ballistic like death cannons in the targets. I mean, they're in the Bucky targets, aren't they? I mean, I didn't look a great deal because I just left mine on auto. But you know, when the Buckies are on auto, they don't outrange them, do they? So having a lower range is kind of not going to matter because everything hits you anyway. Is that right? Is that right? Am I right in thinking that, or is that crazy?
No, you do sound crazy, but at the same time, you're right.
Yeah. No, I mean, if they're on autopilot and they're going up to a turret and shooting at it, and the turret's shooting at you, it doesn't matter. You don't outrange anything. So
And you don't need this extra speed either.
Technically, you don't outrange anything. So, but you're getting to it faster and you're killing it quicker. So I guess it's a juggle, isn't it? It would be really interesting to have two fleets and compare, like have one fleet running it and one fleet not, and see the difference.
Hey man, you're the filthy coin. Have at it. Let us know.
I'm not willing to invest that kind of time, and money into it, but I'm sure Ren will. Ren's
Yeah.
Ren will take one for the team.
Ren always takes one for the team. He's the team. He's the team.
I don't know who you're talking about here.
Ren, come on, you can make a YouTube video, get loads of views. I mean, think of the revenue.
Right. Yeah, no, that's really not my point.
Sounds like Ren's passing on that one.
All right, okay. Well, I'm sure we'll see, because there will be people that I'm sure will try this out and run it. It will be great if we get a preview server, like some kind of public preview, to the next cycle and maybe the escalation, and we can jump in there. People can jump in there and actually try it out. That would be fantastic.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm really happy Raycon said there won't be 2 hulls starting next raid cycle, because the whole 2 hulls and escalation weapon thing from last year, that sucks. Mm-hmm. So I hope he gets rid of escalation weapon while he's busy doing just 1 hull. Also, don't give us escalation weapons. I mean,
Yeah, we're tired. Yeah, escalation is tied to 2017 in my mind. We're done with that. Everybody's done.
Too much build time.
And I thought the escalation was going to be covered in CICs. I thought that we were going to, there would be an escalation, a CIC would come out in the FM, you would refit it, which is like a 24-hour refit per ship, and that would be you covered for next cycle. I thought that was the angle they were going to use with CICs. But I don't know. Okay, I will move on. We've already discussed this one. So let's go into VXP weekend. Yeah, it's probably the same old, but I'll quickly run over it. So it starts on Friday, the 23rd at 9 a.m. PST and ends on Monday, the 26th. The elite targets will be spawning, did they say? Yeah, Friday 9 a.m. to Saturday 9 p.m. So what's that, 36 hours? That's not too bad. And there'll be siege-style targets. You cannot retreat from the target. Other VXP targets are not affected. Upon destruction, this target pays out free Defender class VXP tokens, which is great. I've got tons of them. So everyone looking forward to VXP.
I just want to get it over with.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have. What have I got to rank? No, I've got nothing. Oh, I'll have an Omni Behemoth to rank.
You'll have 4 dragons, right?
And 4 dragons. The 4th one's baking as a rival now. I've just put one of the new rockets on each ship, so that'll be. I'm only going to build 4 because I have a sneaky suspicion that we will see a flagship.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah, so I will not build a 5th regardless. And I'm not even sure how to build them just now. Like I kind of have a rough idea, but I really wanted to see the targets a little bit first and have a chance to experiment before I committed to a full build. I don't know if you guys have figured out building them yet.
I have a tentative build, especially after seeing this today. I do want to review a couple of things though, because I noticed some little sneaky things in those targets, and I want to try and figure out how the damage balance is in there and where you're getting damage from. The only issue with that one is when they turn it back to what it's supposed to be, to the full damage, is it still going to be the same? That's the only concern I have.
Okay. Okay, so VXP weekend, same old.
I posted my build there for the Inferno. Sorry, Liam. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's okay. You posted it in here or in the TFC?
No, TFC page. I have a partial build that I posted for the Inferno Dragons.
Okay.
I have one saved, like a full one, but I want to run some tests before.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
If you're gonna run 2 of them, or if you're gonna try testing the damage, try instead of the high yield siege targeting. That's because that's the way that I ended up going when I started doing it in Huggies.
No, but did you test one versus the other or no?
No, I was just doing the numbers out.
Okay, so you're going siege targeting.
Yes.
So I'm going to go high yield warhead, and we have two different perspectives later to compare data.
And see what we can get. Okay,
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Why not?
Brilliant.
That sounds good.
Well, guys, try and get a video up as well, and get some results up on the page so we can all have a little.
You're gonna finance our building and ranking of these things, right?
Oh, of course. I'll put it in the Christmas package.
Yeah.
Guys, so the skirmish target transition. Here we go again with this. The Scourge blockade targets that everyone really, really loved. The 35 and 57 return, and these should be viable with Tide Seekers now. Good, because the res payout. The res payout with Hunters and Fangs is just appalling until they fix the bloody res on those ships. Tide Seekers are my go-to.
Yeah.
So you tried them with Tide Seekers, Derpy, and damage was okay? Or?
Yeah, 57 I hit for 25 minutes of repair on map with Tide Seekers.
That's with the flagship?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Addition of Scourge blockade target 102, same payout as the old 102 in threat level teal, 47,000 in yellow or orange. The Scourge blockade and Reaver Armada targets will exist side by side for 2 weeks before the Reaver Armada targets are retired. So, guys, for anyone that's kind of on the edge of having their Hunters or Fangs ready, I mean, maybe it's now time to push that along and be ready for this changeover, because you don't want to be stuck with something that isn't viable. But if Tide Seekers are viable in some of the lower targets, then maybe that's okay for a while until you do get them done. I won't hang about on that one too long, because I do have the skirmish target transition values on the next slide, which is great. So there you go, guys. What do you think of those values? Good, bad?
I mean, I'm greedy. I want to see them higher. I mean, that's just me.
Here's the thing, right? I could do 102s before, the old River 102s with my 3 Tide Seekers, the Harlock and 2 regular Tide Seekers. I could do a whole bunch of 75s or a handful of 102s without even going in the target, right? Just from the map. What I want to see is how many of the new 102s I can do with my Hunters without going inside the target.
I've been autopiloting uranium targets for a year with Tide Seekers, and not only sometimes I'll just go and hit them for res, because I take so little damage. I mean, I have the flag and 4 tides,
and that's the problem, right? Because the new skirmish ships, they can carry jackass in resources. They're so poor, their resource capacity. Mm-hmm. It eliminates one source of resources for us.
That's my biggest gripe with them, because I'll be honest, in actual fact, the uranium targets are probably my #1 source of resources. I'll go out and just hit them for an hour on autopilot, and then given, Tide Seekers are expensive to repair, but I'll take less than 30 minutes per target. So I can go out and hit, 20 targets and no sweat and not even be at half damage on the fleet. So, and I can sit, if I've got a ship to build, I can just go out and do that for an hour and I'm loaded up and I'm ready to go, and let the uranium just go in the sea. It's the res that's important. So I did say that a couple of months back on the show as well, and I really do hope that one of the things Kicks I look at is the resource capacity of Hunters and Fangs.
Yeah. Hey, before we go on, can you share my screen, Leon? Just want to quickly show something.
I would struggle to, but I can try. 1 second. You're going to get that beautiful.
Hey, George, you were checking the YouTube chat. Can you see my screens there?
Locked onto you, Ren.
I just see the skirmish target transition in YouTube still.
There'll be a few second delay, but I am onto your screen, Ren.
Get better, Liam.
Get good.
Actually, good. I think you might have locked onto his screen in here, but even on your screen on here, it's not showing.
What? Ask the YouTube chat, because I've clicked to highlight Ren.
No, I'm on the YouTube too. It's not.
Should be.
Yeah, never mind. I put together a chameleon build, the new UAV and the new special and all that kind of stuff. You know, all I wanted to say is it takes 17 days and 10 hours to build a chameleon loaded with the new UAV and these
there it is.
specials, and only one of each charged armor. It's a very long ass build time, 17 days. For a hull that won't be able to do any of the elite targets. So, you know, if you're gonna be blocked up to the 80s with the generalist hull, and it's 17 days, 10 hours each, and you need 4, and then the flagship, honestly, build Buccaneers. Because at least then you have an elite target, and you have the 80s, and you can do an auto. This guy, I really have not seen one single person on map using chameleons to do the target, so I really don't know how well they perform, and it's a 17-day long build.
Yeah, it does, and you know what? While Kickstarter have been so focused on, sorry, excuse me, I'll just stop presenting. While Kickstarter have been so focused on giving us Hydra tokens and Bucky tokens, they've not put out a single chameleon token.
Exactly.
And the chameleons are probably a longer build, you know. So.
Yeah, man. 17 days. You're right. No tokens. You know, like Bucky tokens everywhere, Hydra tokens everywhere, but no chameleon tokens. So I really don't see why anybody would or should build the chameleon at this stage. There's really no good reason.
Bear me a sec. I'm just going to get the slides.
Aren't they going to do something with expeditions and generalist tools soon, though?
Well, the one thing they're doing for generalists, a good point, Ian, they will be able to carry more resources from expeditions. But is that enough a reason to build a fleet where each ship's going to take 17 days? Hell no.
Okay, guys, I've got the TLC.
Let's move on.
Yeah, the Titans Unleashed campaign free. Titans Unleashed free campaign, shall I say. Same old from there, really. I mean, is there anything new on offer here, guys, or is this just the same old, giving people a chance to catch up?
I think it's just a repeat.
I mean, me personally, I've never really paid a great deal of attention to mega holes. I've tried to now that they're involved in bounty, so I kind of built like basic stuff on mine, and it took up to like level 260 or something, you know, just with the basic researchable stuff. So I had a go at it earlier, and I did prize pack 1 and prize pack 2. I might have a go for prize pack 3, but you know, for me, it's something I never tried before, so it was all right. It was quite enjoyable. And you guys, anything new for you?
It looks like the same thing. I just wish they would go back to the 1-day tokens instead of the 6-hour tokens. Those 6-hour tokens don't do anything when it's like a 4-day build and stuff.
Yeah. Kind of pointless, really, isn't it? It's 6 hours into 4 days is barely worth anything at all.
Now, the thing that I do
came a long way from where it was. I'm hoping I can do price pack 3 this time, because before I could do pack 1 easily. I could barely survive pack 2, and pack 3 just destroyed my mega hull. So we'll see. If I can do pack 3 and get the drone and the missile strike, I'll be happy.
That was the point that I was about to say, is if you guys can do prize pack 3, especially if you're doing bounty with your alliance and you want to hold one of the Nexus, that comes in exceptionally handy, because the higher you get that drone bridge module, the more you can help the rest of the hive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
usually sit outside of the hive. I mean, Reina just tells me to get out and go outside the hive, because I can help, because I don't have the drone bridge. So I'm just cannon fodder outside. I'm the first mega hull to be attacked.
I'm assuming if I can get the stuff in prize pack 2 fitted to the mega hull, then I can probably be able to do prize pack 3. Is that correct?
It's not that easy, Liam, because when you get like what you get from prize pack 2, like the Congreve rocket, it comes at level 1, and if your modules and weapons are level 1, they get killed so fast you won't survive pack 3. So you have to build them at level 1, and then you got to upgrade them to level 2 or 3 to be able to survive Price Pack 3. So right now, I think I have all but one module on my Mega Hull at level 2 and the weapons at level 2. And then all the little weapons and specials on top of the Mega weapons. So if I was under that illusion too, that, if I just build a few Congreve rockets, I'll do it. No way.
Okay.
Did I way too fast on level 1? There's not a hope in hell you're going to get through Pack 3. Unless Kixeye nerfed it like big time from last time.
I think I took about 45% damage on Prize Pack 2. So I don't know if that would mean that I got not a chance in Prize Pack 3. Is it just the ships that attack you in Prize Pack 3 as well? Yeah, just those.
No, there's an enemy Mega and then there's ships, right?
Well, in Prize Pack 1 and Prize Pack 2, it was just these little ships that come and attack me. I can't remember the name of them.
Really? There wasn't there a Mega Hull opposite to you?
There was no Megas in Prize Pack 1 and Prize Pack 2.
Really? That's different.
It's all what do you call it?
Missile thing, twin blades. What are they called?
No, not twin blades. The
It could be
Apollos.
Apollos.
Apollos. I think it's in. Is it the second one in Prize Pack 2 that you get the first Mega Hull that you have to fight? I can't remember what it is.
I remember seeing an enemy Mega Hull that was weak, but then some Apollos.
Well, Prize Pack 1, I had three Apollos. Prize Pack 2, in the first, that was just one round. And then Prize Pack 2, I had 5 Apollos in the first round and 5 Apollos in the second round, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't remember the whole thing because I just auto it now.
But they were pretty decent. I mean, they were quite powerful. Well, for my Mega Hull anyway, the missiles bloody hurt. And they kind of drive in a sort of Pacific pattern that, quite often the mortars don't seem to hit much, to be honest. Okay, no worries. Let's jump into the next one. Next slide is March to War. Again, this is nothing new, but it's nice to see this repeated because I think there's some quite key specials and stuff in there. Well, what do you guys think?
Yes!
Oh, shit, what was that?
I am so glad I was just messing with the volume too. Perfect. I knew that was coming sometime.
Someone just
going sometime.
I was just going to say.
He was testing his mic.
Amazing. Everybody has to do it up to Price Pack 3 because then you get the kinetic motion cannon. It's awesome. And Price Pack 2, you get the Chaos Chain Gun. It's awesome. So, yes! Do it. Do it!
Now, see, I was able to get up to Prize Pack 3 last time because all I had was 4 fangs. But now I have the Phantom Fang Tooth. And now they're all legendary ranked, whereas they were before. So I'm wondering if I could actually get my hands on the very first Eviscerator.
Oh,
if you're as good at driving as you say you are.
Well, yeah. I think it's quite tough, isn't it? It is a tough campaign. You need to drive your fangs pretty spot on. I think it's got the YouTube up. It is a tough campaign. You need to drive your fangs. Who's got the YouTube?
Really? I don't know. Who is that?
Someone has it.
What?
It's Ren messing with us. That's what it was.
So someone has what?
I just thought, wow, that's a really nice voice. And then I realized
No, sorry, it was an accident. I was opening to check chat and I forgot to pause the video there.
I can't even get to my controls because I'm screen sharing the bloody slides. I would have muted you by now, Ren. Just kidding.
I'm lucky then, right?
Don't mute me like you did bloody last time because I won't be able to unmute myself and I won't know.
I never muted you. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
that was me.
Time?
I think that was me.
Someone said, "Oh, sorry, I muted you," and I was screen sharing slides, and I was sat there talking. And I was like, "Why are they fucking ignoring me?" And it turned out you muted me.
No, Raycon had that when he joined our show. Like he was talking. He couldn't listen to anything we said, right? And he kept talking. We were asking questions, and he kept ignoring us. Remember?
And yeah, I just thought Raycon was really good. But he accidentally muted us, didn't he?
Yeah, he had hit the button on his headphones that mutes the sound.
So guys, this campaign, everyone seems to be giving it a good thumbs up. Yeah.
Oh, great one! Yes.
I'm just glad it came back because I ignored the Eviscerator last time because it was.
And here's one thing I'm gonna say. I mean, I know some people got a Boulder Fist in Raid, but honestly, if you have to choose between building a boulder fist with cannons or an eviscerator with a sinful scattergun, I'd build the eviscerator any day of the week.
Well, hopefully I will be able to find that out. See.
And I mean, for attack, for defense, the chain gun's better than the sinful scattergun.
Okay. Zoe's Legion HQ. It is obviously fantastic to see charge armors wherever we see them. It's always great to see them. They're like the blood of any shit now. But guys, any opinions on this? I know. Sorry, Derpy. I know you mentioned in the pre-show that you'd given this a go.
Yeah, I tried it. It's pretty difficult, and you have to use the exact right fleet, fully ranked, and you probably need 2 people per target.
And you gotta drive like Liam, right?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna add that in, yeah. But no, I did see. I clicked the target earlier. I started it because I wanted to see like the typo on it because it wasn't telling me exactly what fleets I needed, and then I see. Like on each round, it does actually say like this round you need this and this and this, you know. So it is kind of in a very small print there, I think. But well, you can see it. We've got it written on the screen as well. Obviously, target 1 is skirmish and siege. Target 2 is skirmish and assault, and target 3 is assault and siege. So I don't know. I mean, it's nice to see co-op as well. I guess it's nice to see an opportunity for players to team up and do stuff together, which is great. Anything to add on that one, guys? No?
I just wonder how, it's good to see it, and like you said, it's the lifeblood of all the hulls now, which is, I don't think, what they initially intended because it was supposed to be luxury. It's not luxury anymore. The catch is it's great to see this many. How hard is it to get them? That's the only question I have.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, and Mark's away, so I need to find a team up buddy.
Maybe you can have Nobby help, yeah.
Nobby, yeah, I'll ask Nobby. I'll ask Nobby to log into Mark's base. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I'll ask someone in the Alliance. Mark would have been my ideal candidate. No offense to anyone, but he had to go and bloody go away.
Yeah, because you don't even have to log in for that one, right?
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. In the first round, obviously, I'm going to be driving my fangs because I'm just the elite sub driver, same as the second round.
Yeah.
Anyway, and there is a breakdown there. The completion prize is 2 of each of all charged armors and a Buccaneer USA. Well, what a USA skin? What the hell is this shit? A UK,
hell yeah, baby.
UK skin. Come on. No? Okay. I'll put it I'll add it to the suggestion box for kick's sake.
Yeah, there you go.
or a Canadian one. Canadian one for Ren, right? You live in Canada, Ren, don't you?
He had to pop off.
Oh, did he? Right, sorry. I can't actually see that.
Bye, Ren. Sorry.
Oh, sugar. Is Ren gone?
Yeah, I'm bouncing between 3 different screens, so I'm trying to catch up on everything.
We can give Ren some grief now. So what do you guys really think about Ren? Okay, guys, I'm going to pass the next slide over to you. And actually, we're doing quite well for time. We're pretty much bang on the hour at the minute. So do the next slide, and then I'll close the show, unless there's anything you guys want to add. So who would like to handle the bug fixes and balance changes?
Oh, are they telling us those again?
There is a list on screen. So
all right. Well, they have allegedly heard our feedback and adjusted the spawn rates of the 111 and 115s. I believe with that, there's a reap time issue too, because initially the reap time was, I don't know, excessively long, and now it's coming down to like 3 hours or something, which is still, I think, long. But we have an increased chance of spawning the 111s and 115s over the 117s because everyone's having issues. They fixed the stacking issue with the SSKP, as Ryan had mentioned earlier in the show, which prevented it from being equipped in certain circumstances. They updated the Siege CIC bonus to apply to the Chameleon CR Prime as well. I guess that was an issue. I don't know who actually built the CR Prime to find that out. That's really interesting. And, I mean, I kind of want to know who built that already. And then they fixed an issue with the scroll bars. We go past their respective modals, and that was I think we were having issues on a couple of screens, and you couldn't actually pick things down at the bottom either. That was, I think, corrected on the fly. And then they also fixed the issue where the Executioner 2 turret would fail to display within the base planner, and that's happened with a couple of turrets now. I think the last one was the what's the corrosive one that we have? The Adder. That was happening with the Adder in base planner as well, and they corrected that. So hopefully they'll now remember to go back and check that every time they release a new turret. But other than that, I think that was all, right?
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, no, that's everything. That's everything. We got through the slides. And apologies, guys. I mean, I couldn't really check out the YouTube chat, so I couldn't keep up to date on that because I was screen sharing. But,
that's okay. No one missed you because you didn't have any of your goo, so, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is a lack of goo.
Yeah, they're a little upset that you didn't have goo.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next week, yeah. Put it in next week. But no, so guys, is there anything else you wanted to throw in? Anything else you wanted to add to this week's show?
You know, you mentioned something earlier about having a public test server so we could see what the new stuff would be for the raid targets, and I think especially with looking at that other special that gave that deflection and the speed bonus, I think that would be a really good idea. I would want to see them do that as well. That way people have an idea of, because right now everyone's struggling to, you know, which one am I building first? I have to do the like, I still have Hydras to do. I have to do the Dragons, and then we have the refits for the escalation. Are we going to be able to get away with not doing the escalation right away because we have all this other stuff to do? I mean, it opens up a whole lot of can of worms, and I think you're right. If they have a public test server, so people can at least see people streaming it or see, you know, people testing stuff, and the differences between the two builds, I think that would help the community a whole lot. That would be an immense help. So I hope that they actually do that. That's a great idea, and
yeah,
you know, that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to say. I mean, if Kixeye, you know, if they want us to commit to adding the new cannons or using that new special, I mean, for me, you know, and I'm sure for you and everyone else, I mean, seeing that drop of range by 20 is quite alarming. So the proof's in the pudding. You know, if we get an actual chance to go into a test server, put it onto Buccaneers, try them out, and say, actually, that actually works. You know what I mean? That's actually a really, really viable way to do it. Then great, I'll commit to the build, but I'm not going in blind. No chance.
Well, let me ask you this: what happens if they do that, and we go in and we find out that we do have to actually refit the Buccaneers to streamline our builds for the next new S target, right? What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to build first? Are you going to stop doing your Dragons? See, I mean, it puts us in a quandary that's not really a good place for us to be in.
Then I would expect them to run a TLC that makes Bucky tokens available. But also, I mean, I wouldn't be too disgruntled because I would rather do that and find that out in a preview server than getting to the next raid and thinking, shit.
Yep, I agree.
My Buckies can't do this. Whereas if I had some pre-warning, you know, maybe a preview not only for testing the new equipment, but actually against the escalation targets. And then I'll say, right, okay, well, I need to refit that. I'll do that now. I'll put the Dragons on the back burner for a week or two, and I'll just quickly sort this out because I've still got a month or so before the FM fully changes. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you know, actually, I think it's a good thing to do from a business perspective would be do a test server, right? Let people stream it out so everyone sees everything. And if it is something where, you know, people will want to do the escalation right after that test server. You run that TLC for the Buccaneer. You'll get engagement. You'll have people, you know, playing the game. I mean, that's what I would do, but you know, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you know, I think as a community, I think many players, we have the mind frame that we've been burnt too many times, and the last thing I'd want to do is make the change, then get there, realize that it was a bad move, and then have to make the change again. Which I think, and that's the gripe that I think pisses most people off. I mean, I had to refit my Hydras, you know, 2 or 3 times because of the miscommunication with tac field resistance and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And Derpy, I just saw you comment, and I don't know that they're going to do public servers much, if at all, just because of the issues that they've had every time they've done them. What I would like to do is what I like to see at least is, if they do a closed one, that they allow it to be shared, publicly open that way.
Yeah, like people like letting Ren go in and you TSM whatever go in there, stream, record videos, and post them. That helps everyone out there. So people
Right.
should be okay with private test servers.
Right. I think they've run into a lot of issues when they do it, an open public one, because of the strain on the servers, the stuff that they're testing. It's harder to like, if something's found that's an issue, and there's 300 people on the server, it's much harder to do something on the fly and correct. Whereas if there's a dozen people on there, I mean, I've had in targets. I went back to back, I think like 6 targets one time, and Robot would adjust right after each target that I finished to see what the result would be. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on when we find an error or an issue, and I don't know. I think that's only part of it too. There's other issues too, and they've been discussed in the forums a ton of times. But I'm not sure that they're going to ever do full public previews, or if they do, it's going to be only a couple of times. It's not going to be like it used to be.
Okay, well, listen. I mean, that's some good food for thought for Kickside. Hopefully, they'll take that on board. And guys, we will probably close the show there. But I hope everyone has a good week. Good TLCs and good VXP. There's a lot to do. Lot of new FM stuff as well. So I think everyone's going to have a pretty busy week. And tune in for Saturday's open mic, where I guess we can discuss some of our experiences of the new content and see how we find it. But thanks, George, and thanks, Derpy, for coming on tonight. Thanks, Ren, as well. I know he's not here anymore, but we'll look to close the show there. And obviously, thanks, everyone who came and watched tonight. Really appreciate you coming out to see us.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Good luck on all the stuff. Do the TLCs if you can. And, grab what you can.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.